My name is George Keough. I live on Colfax Avenue. I'm not part of the plume, but I hope that everyone walked in got a copy of the map. Just start looking at where the pollution's coming from the DuPont site, flowing through the plume.
It's up there on the table. I know, it wasn't there, but yeah.
Thank you. I didn't get here that early. What can I say?
Thank you.
Please.
Sorry.
Flowing through the plume, and to date, I've approached both DuPont, the EPA, and the DEP. No one has tested a half-mile of shoreline along Pompton Lake, known as the plume area, where the pollution is actually flowing into the lake. In addition to that, I've made aware both the council and mayor here in Pompton Lake, as well as council and mayor in Wayne, of the severe pollution levels. And I'll just give you a quick number. The safe number is decimal point 002 for water, whereas in the lake, beyond the dredging area, there are places where the amount of mercury pollution is 367,754 parts per million. And these are not my numbers, these are DuPont's numbers before they averaged them down. This is on water. This is in the sediment and in the water. But these numbers were reduced through averaging.
George, could you speak to the mic, please?
Oh, I'm sorry, am I not using the mic? My apologies. I speak loudly anyhow, and sure everyone can hear me, but this is for the record, I guess. The bottom line is that the councils, the EPA, the DEP, our governing bodies are not really stepping up to the urgency that the pollution is really creating for us. We're getting sick, our children are suffering, and let's not even talk about property values. That's being too mercenary, I'd say. But the property values are also suffering. They need to clean up first the site, otherwise it's like cleaning up the bottom of the hill and just putting more crap on top to wash down. That's what's going down. We don't need to talk about gradient flow and all the scientific terms. Crap flows downhill.
There you go.
Welcome to the true vernacular, but I'll stop there. And the pollution, you can't cap it. And I was the one who found some of the latest work, and all of this is it's all public information. It's from the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution, where they are now identifying how groundwater, subterranean water, can actually move heavy metals. And it's leaching into more and more bodies of water, both fresh water and salt water. They're very concerned about it. They're continuing to do the study. They were quite surprised themselves because they were able to identify 10 times a higher rate of mercury than ever could be found from atmospheric sources. Wow. All leaching in from being pushed by groundwater out of the sediments into the water. There it methylates, which means it just changes into a more toxic chemical and can be moved miles. Matter of fact, to quote them, the mercury-carrying culprits are the tiny clay and silt-sized fractions of sediment where the wafers and the segments of heavy metals attach. Because of their small size, clay and silt particles often float throughout the water rather than settling on the bottom and can be carried long distances during rain events. So if anyone knows anyone in Wayne, Pequannock, Lincoln Park, Little Falls, all the way to Newark Bay, they're not safe either. Every time we have a flood, contaminated water,
there you go,
their basements, onto their ballparks, onto their playing fields, because all of the towns have resorted, in order to save money, to put those recreational fields in the lower parts of their towns. And thinking that a little bit of rainwater, a little bit of flood water can't hurt. Yes, it can when the children come back. That residue on the ground is toxic. That's pretty much it as far as also, please go online to the EPA and read this latest report by the EPA's investigative unit. It's quite an eye-opener as far as saying where the what they've remediated, what they haven't, and nowhere does it even show what their numbers are, what they're monitoring.
You want to give us the link for that? We'll put it on the CAG website.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.